Breaking news. Biden corrected Putin's mischaracterization of NATO. Vice President Joe Biden has stated emphatically that despite Russian dictator Vladimir Putin's predictions to the contrary, NATO is stronger than ever before. European Pravda reports that Biden made these remarks in Vilnius following the conclusion of the two-day NATO summit. The President of the United States highlighted the fact that the alliance is a pillar of global security and stability, just like the last 7 decades, providing further context. To paraphrase, NATO is stronger, more energized, and yes, more united than it has ever been in its history, and more crucial to our shared future. More specifically, Biden stated his expectation that NATO will expand to 32 members very soon. In reference to the all-out conflict in Ukraine, Biden restated his earlier claim that Russia had anticipated a schism within the alliance. Putin gambled that NATO would disintegrate when he unleashed his brutal war on Ukraine out of a craven lust for land and power. In his mind, NATO was doomed to fail. He assumed that at the first sign of trouble, our bond would break. To him, democratically elected leaders would be ineffectual. But he had the wrong idea. Particularly, the American leader highlighted the formation of a coalition of more than 50 countries that has ensured that Ukraine can defend itself both now and in the future. We are not going to give up. Our support for Ukraine will not waver. We will fight for freedom and democracy today, tomorrow, and forever if necessary. In context, the decision reached at the Vilnius summit includes some very encouraging language in regards to Ukraine. In particular, the NATO summit decided to waive the Membership Action Plan prerequisite for Ukraine's membership application. But they also made it clear that, when the conditions are met, the Allies would extend an invitation to Ukraine to join NATO. The decision does not specify what requirements Ukraine must meet, but it does detail how those requirements will be assessed. Ukraine's reforms will be tracked via the country's ANP, Annual National Program. This resource is already available to Ukraine. The media is its own frontline. Help fund Ukrainska Pravda or join our list of patrons. A close associate of Russian President Vladimir Putin, who is under sanctions from Ukraine for his involvement in the conflict, is said to be residing in a luxurious complex on the island of Tenerife. El Digital Sur claims that two-time Olympic gold medalist pole vaulter Yelena Isinbayeva has been living undercover in the Spanish territory of the Canary Islands. The outlet reported that a source confirmed that Isinbayeva, a major in the Russian armed forces, had been given an indefinite leave for her merits in the bloody aggression against Ukraine. According to a report from last week, the 41-year-old has also moved into a luxurious complex on the island, which is a popular tourist destination for people from Europe. Why Isinbayeva would choose to reside in Tenerife while the Spanish government provides lethal aid to Ukraine in its fight against her own military comrades is unclear. Isinbayeva was one of many Russian athletes sanctioned by Ukraine last year, when their invasion was just getting started. The measure, according to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, is aimed at the Russians, who are trying to put sport at the service of aggression. Isinbayeva, who is widely regarded as one of the sport's all-time greats, also backed Putin in Russia's 2012 presidential election and was a part of the group that proposed amending the country's constitution to allow Putin to serve beyond his current term's expiration in 2024. She also made headlines in 2013 when she reportedly backed a law that made it illegal to provide information about homosexuality to minors in Russia. She later said that the international backlash was due to her poor English and that she did not support discrimination against gay people, but rather that people should respect the laws of other countries, particularly when they are guests. After Isinbayeva enlisted for 5 years, Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu promoted her to the rank of major 2 years later. She joined the Putin team, group of athletes and celebrities who are vocal supporters of the president.